Imagine being stranded alone on a deserted island. Your only company, the eerie sounds of the jungle and the relentless waves crashing against the shore. For over 4 years, one man faced this terrifying reality. This is the true and chilling story of a real-life castaway whose incredible fight against all odds will leave you questioning the limits of human resilience. Welcome back to Into the Deep, where we uncover the most mysterious and spine-chilling tales from history. Today, we delve into the haunting story of how one man's solitary ordeal on a desolate island inspired one of the greatest adventure novels of all time. Born in 1676 in the small Scottish village of Lower Largo, Alexander Selkirk was destined for a life of adventure and peril. As a young man, his rebellious spirit often got him into trouble, but it was his seafaring ambitions that led him to the fateful journey that would forever change his life. Alexander Selkirk began his seafaring life as a buccaneer. In 1703, he joined an expedition led by English privateer William Dampier, embarking from Ireland. Equipped with letters of marque, their mission was to target enemy ships during the War of the Spanish Succession. Dampier commanded the St. George, while Selkirk served on the Cinque Ports under Captain Thomas Stradling. After a treacherous journey around Cape Horn, their fleet battled a French ship that managed an escape to alert Spanish forces. Following a failed raid in Panama, they captured a well-stocked merchant vessel, reigniting their hopes briefly. Selkirk was then given command of this prize ship, but Dampier soon released it after taking necessary provisions of wine, sugar, flour, and brandy. By May 1704, Captain Stradling with the Cinque Ports chose to part ways with Dampier, setting the stage for Selkirk's extraordinary fate. By September of 1704, the Cinque Ports had made its way to the uninhabited island of Massa Tierra, part of the Juan Fernandez archipelago, to resupply with fresh water. Selkirk, who during their journey became increasingly concerned about the seaworthiness of the vessel, repeatedly clashed with the ship's captain, Thomas Stradling. Fearing for his life should the expedition continue in its current state, Selkirk made a bold and desperate decision, declaring he would rather stay on Massa Tierra than continue with Stradling. Little did he know, he was trading one set of dangers for another, as Stradling would take him up on the offer, deserting him on the remote island. Immediately regretting his decision, Selkirk pleaded to be taken back, but Stradling, wanting to set an example for the crew, refused, effectively handing Selkirk a death sentence. As the Cinque Ports disappeared over the horizon, Selkirk was struck by the stark reality of his isolation. He was alone, hundreds of miles from the nearest civilization, with only a few supplies to his name: a musket, an old hatchet, a cooking pot, a knife, carpenter tools, his Bible, and some clothing and bedding. The island was a wild and untamed place, teeming with strange noises at night. Selkirk's first days were filled with fear and uncertainty. He had to quickly learn to adapt to his new, harsh environment. Selkirk knew he had to secure food and shelter to survive, finding refuge in a beachside cave and surviving on whatever he could forage. Filled with overwhelming emotions of grief, loneliness, and regret, Selkirk stared aimlessly at the horizon for days, confessing later he often contemplated taking his own life. But it was a natural invasion that eventually forced him to act. As mating season approached, hordes of monstrous sea lions overran his beach, cutting him off from his food supply and forcing him inland. While at the time Alexander was distraught at moving into the untamed looming jungle, this unexpected push would actually lead him to salvation. As he soon discovered, the lush valley behind the beach was rich with cabbage palms, wild turnips, and various native fruits, which became a staple of his diet. He also discovered feral goats left by earlier buccaneers and pirates. At first, he shot them for food, but when his gunpowder ran out, he learned to capture them by foot and with handmade traps, eventually domesticating some for meat and milk. During one such chase, Alexander would narrowly escape death when he lost his footing and tumbled from a cliff, lying in agony for days at the bottom as he slowly recovered his strength. If it wasn't for the goat he was chasing cushioning his fall, this very well could have been his final resting place. Rocky cliffs and unstable terrain wasn't Alexander's only danger, however. The island was overrun by colonies of rats as large as his forearm that gnawed at his hands and feet while he slept, threatening to spread untreatable disease and infection. Fortunately, wild cats on the island offered a solution. Selkirk domesticated some, and they guarded him at night, creating a strange but comforting companionship. As the days turned to weeks and the weeks turned to months, Alexander continued to adapt to his lonely island life. Despite seeing no signs of rescue since being marooned, he had not given up hope. Every day scanning the horizon for ships from a lookout, lighting signal fires as he did. As October 1704 approached, Selkirk built shelters inland near a stream. Using his few tools, he constructed huts from pimento wood and thatched them with grass. His huts were sparsely furnished, but goat skins provided warmth and comfort. He boiled meat in a kettle and used pimento wood to create fire. His domesticated goats and cats provided food and protection, and he improved his diet with lobsters, parsley, watercress, and parsnips. His Bible became his most precious companion, with daily devotions helping him retain his speech and sanity. One day, while going about his tasks, his hopes soared as he saw two ships anchored offshore. Rushing to the shore to greet his potential rescuers, his excitement turned to dread. They were Spanish. Knowing capture meant a fate worse than death. As he faced torture or a life of slavery in a salt mine, he fled back into the jungle. As the Spanish sailors explored the island in search of supplies, he was spotted by a group of men who fired at him. Thinking quickly and using his agility from months of traversing the island, Alexander climbed a tall, leafy tree, hiding until they abandoned their search. At one point, the searching party even urinated beneath the tree Alexander hid in. However, they failed to notice him, and they soon returned to their ship. As the years stretched on, Selkirk's tools and clothes wore out. When his knife wore out, he fashioned new ones from an iron-barred barrel he found on the beach. His clothes, made from goat skins, were crude but effective, and his feet became toughened from running on volcanic terrain. His long, uncut beard also made him appear wild, like a hairy ape. Despite adapting to his solitary life, Selkirk never gave up hope of rescue. Unbeknownst to him, his fate was about to change. William Dampier, who had inadvertently left Selkirk stranded, was now leading another venture to raid the South American coast. His new fleet, made up of the Duke and its sailing companion, the Duchess, set sail from England on September 1st, 1709, and by late January 1710, they neared Isla Mas a Tierra. After 4.5 years, fate was about to reunite Selkirk with an old comrade. Due to his previous encounter with the Spanish, Selkirk had grown cautious, always surveying the horizon from his lookout before approaching the beach. On February 1st, 1710, he spotted 2 ships in the distance that seemed distinctly British by their rigging. Heart-pounding, he raced down to the shore, built a signal fire, and frantically waved for attention. Dampier, noticing the unexpected fire, sent a boat to investigate, not knowing Selkirk was still alive. The landing party, led by Thomas Dover, was met by a speechless Selkirk, overwhelmed with joy after 4 years and 4 months of solitude. Woodes Rogers, the Duke's captain, humorously dubbed Selkirk the governor of the island. Selkirk, now agile and strong, caught goats daily, aiding in the recovery of Rogers' scurvy-stricken crew. Captain Rogers marveled at Selkirk's physical vitality and mental tranquility, observing, "One may see that solitude and retirement from the world is not such an insufferable state of life as most men imagine, especially when people are fairly called or thrown into it unavoidably, as this man was." Impressed by Selkirk's resilience, Rogers appointed him as Duke's second mate. Back at sea, Selkirk's zeal for privateering reignited. At Guayaquil, in modern-day Ecuador, he led a daring raid up the Guayas River, looting gold and jewels from wealthy Spanish ladies who had fled with their treasures. His exploits continued along the coast of Mexico, looting galleons and playing a key role in capturing a Spanish prize ship. After this, Selkirk served as the sailing master under Captain Dover, navigating to the Dutch East Indies and ultimately completing a circumnavigation of the globe. On October 1st, 1711, Selkirk arrived back in England, having been away for 8 long years. Selkirk's incredible story of survival became a sensation. He returned to England a changed man, his tale of endurance and resilience captivating all who heard it. His experience even inspired Daniel Defoe's classic novel, Robinson Crusoe. Alexander Selkirk's ordeal is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure and adapt. His story remains a powerful reminder of the strength and resilience that lies within us all, even in the face of the most daunting challenges. In 1966, the Chilean government renamed Isla Mas Afuera as Alexander Selkirk Island, a fitting tribute to the man whose incredible survival story continues to inspire and intrigue us. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more spine-chilling tales from the past. Until next time, stay safe.